Hey, I'm William from the Zombie Star, and This Week in Comics will be the last This Week in Comics for 2021. Next time we do this, it'll be 2022. Wearing my Christmas shirt. That's about as Christmas as I get. But This Week in Comics, we're actually reading books that released earlier this week, and some from weeks before. Reading some awesome things. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you guys are reading. Let's get started. Deep Beyond, issue number 10. I've covered several issues of Deep Beyond and really is one of my favorite reads from Image Comics. Deep Beyond has been this multi-layered, for 10 issues now, it's been this multi-layered, really fast-paced, constantly evolving narrative that involves so many characters. And for that reason, it can be difficult to follow. I cannot picture skipping an issue and being able to pick up where the story kind of takes off as things drastically change from one issue to the next. I've always said that this story, I feel, is comprised and inspired by so many different popular culture, science fiction, films, shows, and even books. For any fans of science fiction or kind of like bizarre fantasy takes, Deep Beyond really has it all. For 9 issues, Deep Beyond has been grand in scope, as it has really took time to build a very specific world where pretty much it's no longer habitable, and human beings have been restricted to these artificial environments, these dome-like structures that is surrounded by poisonous water, poisonous air, and even deadly and deformed creatures. As I said, it's Deep Beyond. It has everything. Issue number 10 is taking a more focused look. One of our main characters, Jolene, as her and the remaining party that were able to make it out of that daring escape in issue number 9 are now left with the dilemma of liberating the remaining party. Really loving how Jolene is kind of having this character shift, and she's kind of forced to make some very difficult choices and even have to show some ruthlessness. How she will grow in this role is going to be pretty interesting, and just adding another dynamic to an already very detailed and complex story with just a lot of moving parts. This is the only cover that we have, but this is Deep Beyond, issue number 10. 11 probably is already released, but this is where we're up to right now. All right. Crossover, issue 9 and issue 10. Been reading this for 10 issues. Haven't talked about crossover for a while, but been following this. Absolutely love it, but gonna say not for everybody. Crossover is one of those titles that if you picked up number 1, you read number 1, you were either gonna follow it or you were just done with it right there, as this is very much so an acquired taste and really not going to be for everybody. I am really fascinated with the concept of playing with the fourth wall whenever writers, authors, or movie directors want to try and establish a real life connection with the viewer or reader. I just think that's a real fascinating way to tell a story, and crossover is so that. For 10 issues now, we've been learning about the event where a sudden tear in reality causes for every comic book character ever created to come pouring into our reality, or crossing over. Our main character, Ellie, who is from the other side, is really on this mission. Her and a very unlikely band of companions are on this mission to kind of unsolve the mystery of the incident and try to make things as they were. Issues number 9 and 10 continue this bizarre story as real-life comic book authors and creators become targets of their own fictional characters. Yeah, it's really out there. Which is what makes this a very unique read, and really only for a specific audience, where if you do not know who Brian Michael Bendis or Chip Zdarsky or Donny Cates is, the story would be kind of hard to follow and wouldn't make a lot of sense. But for me, this has been a very new way to enjoy a comic book, as I've never really read anything like this. But like I said, this is either going to be something that you're going to get into or just not at all. Obviously, a comic book that's about comic books, some of the best in the business have really come together to illustrate and give us the world of crossover. And from the beginning, from the actual crossover event itself to the many different characters that come together and encounters and events that occur in the story, we've just been given a really vibrant and beautiful world of crossover that I think any reader, regardless of the story and content, can really appreciate. This was number 9 and 10, only covers that we did get, and this is just a lot of fun to read. Alright, moving on. Batman Reptilian, issue number 6. This brings this arc to a close, and really a very unique story for Batman. Definitely in the approach for the artwork. Typically on the surface, this is just a straight Batman story where he's just like this super detective, just really trying to get the facts, solve the case, and save the day. There's a lot to spoil. in Batman Reptilian. So if you have not read it, the story is extremely bizarre, and it gets really weird with every issue. One thing I love about it the most is how Batman kind of handles the situation, as his responses are just so Batman, comical even, which makes a lot of sense because this is created by Garth Ennis, who's really known just for very grim and dark humor. Don't know if Liam Sharp has ever worked on a Batman comic book before. The artwork that he delivers here is something that I would not expect from a Batman comic, but really is a highlight for this title. Where the story itself is awkward and strange, it just gets weird with every issue and kind of can even be uneasy. The artwork itself complements this with being just as bizarre and strange and distorted and giving you that sense of being uneasy. Visually, it is deliberate at being different and standing apart from anything that you're used to regarding a Batman comic book. Batman Reptilian, issue number 6. And check out these other covers. Again, the artwork is really just the standout here. That was 6. Here's book number 5. We are still catching up with our releases. So I've just been reading through these, and this was just a very unique take on a really classic Batman story. Demon Days, Rising Storm, issue number 1. Even though it isn't issue number 1, Demon Days is an ongoing series that follows main character Mariko from Marvel Comics. Demon Days is an infusion of the Marvel comic universe and Japanese folklore that is written and illustrated by none other than Peach Momoko. Demon Days is an original story. Features main character Mariko, who we learn very quickly is part human and part Oni, or demon. And in just a few issues, we do see a lot of character growth as we watch Mariko really struggle with her human side and her Oni side, as she is on a journey to solve the many mysteries about her past and her childhood. While on her journey, she crosses paths with many different characters, some allies, some villains. One of the most awesome things about this title is that every character that she meets is visually inspired by very popular Marvel comic characters. In recent issues, we've seen characters that are inspired by the Incredible Hulk, Wolverine, several of the X-Men, and even Venom. From artist Peach Momoko, the artwork is absolutely brilliant, as Peach Momoko is very well known for taking westernized concepts and adding an anime spin to them. Me being a fan of both the Marvel comic universe and of anime, this is an absolute perfect blend of those two worlds. What makes this even more special is the fact that this is Peach Momoko's writing as well, which I don't know what to say. You gotta read this. Demon Days, Rising Storm, issue number 1, and this is just awesome for all kinds of reasons. And this is our only cover that we were able to get. Alright. And that'll do it for the last This Week in Comics for the year. We've been busy, really trying to catch up with the tremendous amount of reading that I have been doing. But this is absolutely fun. Let me know what you guys are reading. What comic books are you ending the year with? And hope to see you all next year, 2022. Merry Christmas and have a very good new year. Thank you guys for watching. See y'all next time.